So we're here at the Sharjah Masters Open Tournament, and I have with me Adhiban Baskaran, who's having on tremendous form at the moment. So great to see you, and you've just finished your first round game.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to tell us a little about it? So you're playing Mishra Swayams.
Yeah.
One of your countrymen.
Yeah. Okay. There were 94, so there was no chance of missing an Indian.
94 Indians playing in the tournament. Yeah.
So I have to go through a couple of them, I think.
Okay, fantastic. So here we go. You had the white pieces.
Yeah, so I went for the Trompovsky.
Hang on. How often do you play the Trompovsky?
Probably second time in my life, I suppose. Yeah, because I didn't have any time to prepare for this game, so I just thought I remember some preparation I did for Safari in Tata Steel Challenges, so like a year ago. So thought, okay, maybe I'll just try this.
But this seems to be your thing, doesn't it? You switch openings all the time.
Yeah, and it works. Yeah.
Yeah, and it works. Yeah. So you surprised Karyakin in Vakanse.
Yeah.
You played the King's Gambit in Vakanse.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your thing. You like to confuse people, so you don't get caught. So. All right. Well, we have a very regular position now, don't we?
Very regular. So far it's good. Yeah, here I was considering maybe you can go for G5 and Knight H5. Just trying to get the bishop, but okay, it was.
Okay, he went for Queen B6.
Yeah, Queen B6 also looks very natural. Rook B1. Yeah, Bishop E7. So far good. I'm just developing the most active.
But to be honest, I look at the Queen B6 and I think, well, how useful is that move?
Yeah, actually, I think if you do it very early, then you can make white a little bit uncomfortable, where he has to go for some moves like Queen C1 or B3. But I think later on, if you do this, I think white is just fine.
Because it blocks the B pawn, so the bishop can't come here. So it looks a bit weird.
Yeah, and also the bishop on E7 is like not so well protected when you do some Knight E5. So yeah, in this position, probably it was not the best. So I just go for the. Rook E8 I think was a decent move. So here, okay, I had to break the tension and go for some E4 or C4 break. So I decided to go for DC5. Queen
but
C.
you didn't. Were you looking at Knight E5 as well?
Yeah, I was looking at it for sure, but he just plays Knight D7 and there's like a huge mass of exchange, which.
Okay.
Yeah.
You preferred not to.
No,
okay.
Actually, no. The thing is, the whole point of Rook E8 is that if you go Knight E5, he just plays Knight on E5. Actually. And D5 and he goes Knight D7 and the bishop is protected. This was the point of Rook E8. So now Knight E5. I could have played Knight E5 if he played bishop D7 instead of Rook E8, but after Rook E8, Knight E5 is just not.
But you don't fancy stuff like this.
Yeah, bishop G3 just goes Knight F5, and my only plan was F4, and which is F4, E4, C4. I have all these breaks, but I felt like black is very well equipped to play against all this. Yeah.
Okay, so you went for something very different.
Yeah. So I assembled something like a semi-Slav Meran from like it's like reversed Meran. So yeah, Queen D6 was good, I think, because Queen B6 is just bad. I have some C4 eventually. So Queen E2, Knight H5. Yeah, also good, I think, exchanging the piece. But maybe could also play E5, but. Guess white should be slightly better, yeah. So bishop E7, Queen E7. Yeah, here I was actually expecting something like Rook E7 maybe.
Rook E7 instead.
Yeah. Then eventually I wanted to prepare for this G3, E4 with I think a slight pull I have.
Yeah, I guess he's still got problems developing.
Yeah. So Queen E7 looks natural. Only problem is the game continuation. So I go for this. Knight F5, Knight D5. And now this is like a forcing sequence. Knight F6.
Okay, so his knight is hit, of course.
So Knight F6, F4. Yeah, here this B6 was quite interesting because I was expecting something like Knight D7 or Bishop D7. If he goes Bishop D7, then I have this very strong G4. And okay.
G4?
Yeah, and okay.
This is brutal.
Yeah, and then G5. And okay, Knight H1 is also not stopping because I just go G5 anyway.
It's interesting, isn't it? Suddenly.
Yeah,
we have the difference, but it's the tale of two knights.
Yeah, and also this knight on A5 is out of play.
Now, so and your knight is beautiful in the middle.
Another thing is, I have too many pieces, a pointer at the king side, so I think my attack will succeed. So F4, he could go Knight D7, but I still felt like it should be just very good. So B6. Anyway, I went for G4. I tried to come up with something else, but realized I should hurry, because if black gets BB7 and rook C8, then I think he's quite fine. So I have to do something before that. So knight D7, knight DF3, knight E5. Yeah, this was an interesting one. Maybe I could also play knight FE5, but knight E5 looks so good that like spawn with idea like H4, G5.
Okay, so basically you're spoiled for choice here. You've got this is also tempting.
So, but knight E5 looks so nice. And if you go for something like F6, then I have knight G6, and I don't really care what he's doing. I'm going G5.
He shouldn't have played H6, should he? A long time ago.
Yeah, but okay. You have to go to the fifth move for that.
Yeah, sure.
So, knight D5, bishop B7 look natural. Now, G5. And this knight C4 is probably the best, because if he takes...
show us what happens.
Yeah, knight and F7 actually. Knight and F7.
Knight F7 straight away. Ooh,
so
fantastic.
queen F7, F into G5. Now queen C7 or something. I just go bishop H7 check. Looks like because queen H5 is G6.
Okay, so let's just show this.
Yeah, check on G6, and you cannot stop the mate.
Very nice. Yeah. Okay, all good stuff.
So also H5, funny thing is, even bishop H7 check is actually I think working. Bishop H7 should also be working
straight away.
Yeah, check looks quite dangerous for just queen H5 and FG5. Probably it's not as good as the other line, but also looked very interesting.
It reminds me a little bit of do you remember Carlsen's game against Tomaszewski?
Sure.
Very similar kind of thing.
Yeah. You just attack on the F file.
Yeah. Okay, so
knight C4 I think is very good. He just opens this long diagonal. Yeah, I was not so comfortable playing this, opening this diagonal, but I realized I have to do this to retain this beautiful knight on E5. So G6, maybe G6 was more accurate because.
So how are you going to break that one down?
It was not easy. I was just aiming to go for some endgame where this H6 pawn might be useful eventually, like rook D1, rook D8, queen G4, something like this. I was
okay.
But the point is he has this very strong bishop E4, I think.
Here.
Yeah. No, because if he goes king H7, then I'm in time to play queen G5, and I have this bind.
I see. Let's just show that. Yes, that's quite important.
So king H7, then I have this queen G5. So, so that's the whole point of bishop E4. Now queen G5, I have F6. He has F6. Actually.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Now I understand. So what could you do? Could you play rook D4?
Yeah, actually, funnily, even after F6, I think I can go knight G6, and it's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I guess a couple of pawns. Yeah. So probably it's already better for me, I think.
Okay. Rook D4 as well. Is that legal?
Yeah, it is legal for sure. But then he puts this bishop on F5 and then king H7 and slowly.
It's not so clear.
Yeah, it's not so clear. Yeah.
Okay.
But white is clearly has nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
So G8 looks very natural because the bishop looks much stronger on this now. But queen H5, and I realized actually he is not in time to create any threat on the G file. So if he goes king H7,
what do you play?
Actually, I wanted to play something like king F2, I think. Rook D8.
Which?
This rook, yeah.
Yeah.
And just I wanted to go rook D1 and no, actually, sorry, king H7. I wanted knight G4. Yeah, sorry, this is not one because. In another knight G4 and he's in trouble.
That stops rook G8.
Yeah.
Let's show that.
Yeah.
That's actually mate in 1. That's important.
So just knight G4 and he has to go queen F8 and I have knight F6.
Okay. That's
like I won't probably take the rook. I'll play for domination, I think. So F6 was a mistake because after it's just over. King F2. Here the last chance was queen H7, just trying to hold on badly.
Yeah.
But I have rook G1 check, king F8, and the point is knight G6, king F7. Funnily, I really don't know how to do some damage here. King F7.
King F7.
Like I was still checking rook D1, but he just goes rook D8, and it's so funny like that I can't do anything immediately.
He can survive this? Surely not.
No, surely not. But I saw an even easier solution, like rook G1 check, king F5.
Yeah.
I just go queen H4.
Queen h4, that's very subtle.
Yeah, so I cannot take because I go queen f6,
Queen f6.
queen here and queen h6 and finally rook g7.
And rook g7, okay, nice.
So queen h4, I can go queen c2 check, but then I go king g3. And this was nice. So takes, queen f6 check, and I go with king h4.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Check. And mate on g7. Wonderful. Very nice. Yeah.
So yeah, after bishop e4, yeah, just it was still not so, because okay, only one last thing, because rook g1 check doesn't work because of king h7, and knight f7 is queen f8, and rook g6 also queen f8 is defending, but just queen at h6, and yeah, yes, no difference.
And
rook
then
g1
rook
is
g1, and then game over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Only 26 moves, but actually a game full of content. And actually quite tricky in parts.
It was quite tricky.
Very nice. But anyway, just congratulations. Very nice game.
Yeah.
But things have been going very well for you recently. Obviously, your Viscount's A performance was outstanding.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, what is there something you've been doing, especially in your training recently, or is it just?
No,
the trend is just upwards. Or?
Actually, this was my first chance, so I was like, okay, this chance I have to make it count. So
in a really big tournament.
Yeah. So I just put everything I had, and it worked wonders. Yeah.
It certainly did. Yeah. No, we enjoyed looking at your games. Okay, well, we look forward to seeing more games from you in this tournament, and well done. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.